I remember when I was like maybe like 10, 12,
Mhm.
something like that, I would do like some not fake, yeah, fake viruses or something like that. I like to prank some friends, so I would put some like executable files in like diskettes or something like that,
Mhm.
and I would share like, hey, take a look at these pictures or something to my friends, and they would open them and like see weird things on the screen, and like it was not real viruses, but I was like 11 years old or something like that.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm incredibly excited to introduce you to our very own Federico Kauffman. He's the brilliant mind behind Streaver technological innovations. And Federico is not just the typical CTO, he's fueled by curiosity. And seriously, like, he's the guy that will never stop learning and trying new things and checking everything twice and trying to understand into details almost anything he does. And he also loves learning, so that pushes him into a very specific and great combination where solving problems and making the team increase their skills, learn faster is not a problem. So here we have him, and back in the day, he was like studying engineering. He graduated from university, and I have to confess that I recall exactly that moment when he graduated, because we kind of studied and finished the university together. So it's my pleasure to have him here. And yeah, today we will be exploring his journey, discussing a little bit how that moment was, how he started, how he decided to get into that, and the challenges that he's currently facing as the CTO of Streaver. So welcome, Fede, and happy to have you here.
Hi, Larry. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Well, I said Larry. I don't know if people know, but we call you Larry. I will say Larry all the time. I will never use your name. So if you hear me say that, that's your name. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I also remember when we graduated because we did it together. And we have known each other for, I don't know, like 12 years maybe. Like we probably saw each other like 13, 12 years ago, and maybe we started talking like 12, 11 years ago, something like that. But yeah, it's been a long time.
That's true. Yeah, time flies.
and,
So
and yeah,
Fede, yeah,
yeah.
no,
No,
I,
I was
I'm
going, I was, sorry, I was going to say that, like, yeah, your introduction was interesting. Like, I usually don't speak much about myself. So yeah, it's good to know that you think all of that about me. So.
I will ask you a bit about you. So let's start by that
Okay.
also, so people know you and knows a little bit more about your background. Like, what are how did you got interested in coding, and what are you like since you started university? Why did you decide to do so, and how that's had been?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So when I was a kid, I was like, so my main driver for everything is always being curiosity, like for everything. And when I was young, I was like extremely curious. Like I would like break everything to know how it worked. I would mix weird things to see what would happen,
I can't
and
believe that.
like, and like part of it, I guess it's like my mother had like a computer school in quotes. I don't know what the actual term is, but she like had classes of like Microsoft Office when it came in like CDs or diskettes or whatever.
Mhm.
Like back in the day, then like internet classes, how to use like Internet Explorer or things like that, and editing tools like Photoshop version 1 or
Nice.
something. And then my father had an agrochemical company, so
Mhm.
like I was always curious about science in general, right? Like chemistry, like biology, computers, math, whatever. Um, and yeah, that I think that's what led me to study like engineering, which is like a scientific or technical career, I guess.
Mhm.
And and yeah, that's like I'm not sure like why I ended in computer engineering. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of obvious now that I am talking, but because I was between like medicine and engineering. Like
Okay.
two completely different things. I mean, in a way, you have patience. In one of them,
Yeah.
like in engineering, in my engineering right now, my patient is like the computer. Like in human medicine, like it's the humans. But yeah, I don't know why I was between
Yeah,
those two, but
but
I'm
did you
happy I
know?
decided.
Did you know that code existed? Like there was something
Yeah,
else running on
yeah.
computers? Like
So yeah, like my probably like I remember when I was like maybe like 10, 12,
Mhm.
something like that, I would do like some this kind of not fake, yeah, fake viruses or something like that,
Mhm.
because I like to this. I remember this one. Maybe there are things that happened
Yeah.
previously, but I like to prank some friends, so I would put some like executable files in like diskettes or something like that,
Mm.
and I would share like, hey, take a look at these pictures or something to my friends, and they would open them and like see weird things on the screen, and like it was not real viruses, but I was like 11 years old or something like that,
Nice.
and that was kind of a way of pranking them. And then yeah, I did like when I was maybe 15, I did like some websites
Mhm.
for some like acquaintances of my mother, I think, or my father, I don't remember, like just WordPress stuff or something like that.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
So.
yeah, but yeah, I knew how to code. I did like uh, some like Visual Basic courses
Mhm.
when I was 16 or something like that, and I've been coding for a long time. So yeah,
For sure, you've been into code way more than that than me. I just learned to code when I started in university, so yeah, it's a long time back. Great, Fede.
yeah.
And I guess
But yeah,
that
that's basically like how I ended up here.
okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And thanks for sharing that. So, and that also makes me go into my next question that I wanted to ask you, which today everyone is talking about AI and code is kind of on
Mhm.
a little side of the street. Like maybe people is thinking that code will forever die or that you will not code as you used to do 2 years
Mhm.
ago. So let me ask you, like, how has AI influenced the way you manage and you develop software these days? Has it changed a lot? What do you think it's going to keep changing? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I like the question because it's something that it has been happening recently.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I didn't have a lot of time to reflect yet. Like, I mean, usually things take some time, but this has been happening like nonstop for a year. Uh,
Exactly.
and like, yeah, for me, like, I've been using AI tools a lot. Like,
Mhm.
some AI tools just for fun and testing, like, making, hey, how does this thing work? Like, I
Mhm.
don't know, try something, right? That's one of the use cases I've been doing, which is not very useful. It's just for fun
Yeah.
and curiosity. The other one, which is more useful, I guess, it's like I've been using like GitHub Copilot, for example,
Hmm.
like saying, I mean, when I can, sometimes like sometimes some clients don't allow it. So in those cases, I don't use it. Like I have a setup where it gets disabled,
Hmm.
and like other clients allow it. And in personal projects or things like that, I use it. And then ChatGPT or any kind of like LLM, like Llama or whatever you want to use.
Yep.
But what I've been using it for mostly is like I know what I want to build.
Hmm.
Sometimes I am too lazy to write things, right? Like I know I have to write a for loop and send requests to whatever thing or do
Yeah.
a database query, and I know how to verify like
Hmm.
what's going on. So I use it to make me faster,
Yep.
and sometimes like to make me better. Like I will sometimes I don't know what I want, and I just get started with it. It gives me some ideas. I explore a little bit on my own, and that's how I use it. It hasn't changed a lot how I work,
Hmm.
but it has given me like more speed and creativity in general. And another tool that I use a lot related to creativity
Hmm.
is one by the Versal team, which is called V0.
Oh yeah.
Like I sometimes have ideas and I have no idea how to build a UI, or I mean I know how to build a UI, but I don't know how to start, like
Hmm.
where should the buttons be or tables, or like I have a general idea but I don't want to go through the
Yeah.
details. And making sure it's pixel perfect or whatever. So I just throw some like prompts there. Hey, build me a page that has a table, a button to create, a button to delete, or whatever, a menu, and it will throw you a UI. Then you copy paste it, make sure it's working. I mean, that's the important part, making sure it's working. And then just, that moves me from 0 to 100 like really fast.
Yeah,
that's kind of the idea. I mean, and more importantly, when you're testing like the idea, like if you have a running product with a components library or whatever that's running and build, probably you don't need that. But if you're testing an idea, that's like really important.
That was something I was going to ask you next, because I guess in different cases you can get different benefits, and in some ways you could go faster, or you could go smarter, or you could just trigger the creativity, and it might depend probably on the context of the project and where you are. Like as you were saying, if you are doing an MVP or starting something from scratch, then I guess it saves you a lot of time, everything like the setup, how to start, where to put the documents, the files, the code, anything. So that was, I don't know if you can recall of any other example or any other instance where the AI played for you a key role on any project at Streaver.
Yeah, actually, like last year, at the end of the year, kind of like, I think it was November or something like that, or December, I don't remember exactly. We had like this idea for building a small product for restaurants. Like I will not go into the details, but it was just a very small idea, and we wanted to help someone that has a restaurant and try to like build a product for them, which, I mean, we had nothing, like no 0 lines of code, no UI, no designs, nothing, just like the problem that we wanted to solve. And like we probably like got from 0 to MVP deployed to production like in maybe 40 hours or something like that of work, which with a pretty fantastic UI. Like it was,
that's huge.
And it was mostly done by AI, like the UI itself, with like the logo, the positioning of tables, buttons, like part of the code, like the database schema was completely made by UI. We had to, of course, we had to do some like small tweaks, like, hey, I don't know, the AI would call like column something, whatever, something, and then we would just rename it a little bit because it was better suited. But that was, I mean, in some cases it would of course do wrong things, but as I said before, we had like the knowledge to actually like read the code and understand and fix it, like, and it was an MVP, so we wanted to go as fast as possible, and that, I mean, that helped a lot. Like probably that project would have taken us like double or 3 times the amount of time, like just building it, like writing everything from scratch, and that was pretty interesting. Like
and on that line, like that makes me think, because we in these days where every single day there is a new product out there, and you have like not just features but products, and people wants to develop something completely new from scratch from one day to the other and put that into the market and see if that works. So I guess the AI is revolving and changing the whole industry. So do you have, like, from your perspective as a CTO and from the technology standpoint, for anyone that is like thinking about building a product or that wants to get into the development world, is there any advice, any recommendation, any suggestion? How do you think the ecosystem will keep evolving? What should those persons start doing or taking into consideration for their success, or just to have in mind?
Yeah, so I think like there are like I remember when I started learning like about JavaScript frameworks, for example. I don't remember how many years ago it was, but there was like, I don't know, Angular, Ember, React, or things like that, and maybe I don't remember if Vue was already in the scene or not, but yeah, whatever. And like I had like these options, right? Like to learn about. I pick 2, 3, whatever. I learned about them, but and new things show up. A lot of frameworks, and I had to learn. But now Like and now I can ask the AI, hey, can you help me build an application using React or whatever? And I know how to build in React. And I know how to verify that it does what it has to do. And for new people, if they don't know React or whatever framework they want to learn and they ask the AI, they might lack the knowledge to verify what's being built. It's right. I mean, you can test it like end to end, like an end user. But maybe there are like some things that are not right and you don't know because you just haven't learned the framework. So my recommendation is like make sure you understand what's being written. Like before we would copy and paste things from Stack Overflow and we would try to understand. This is the same. Like I never copy, never, it's a strong word, but sometimes I would copy and paste without understanding because it was small enough. But when it was a complex thing, I would copy things from Stack Overflow and paste them and try to understand them. This is the same, but faster. Like you need to understand what you're doing. I think that's my primary advice for new people coming into the era. Like make the AI, like the AI has to fill gaps, not be the whole knowledge. Like you can't, for now at least. Like maybe in 6 months it changes. So for now, the AI has to fill the gaps that are like easy to fill, and you have to verify, make sure that everything is being built accordingly. That's my advice for that. And then one that I always say, like never stop learning. That's another one. Never stop teaching, because when you teach, you learn. And that's pretty much it.
I love that. Thanks for that suggestion and for sharing that, Fede. And I know we are running out of time, but I won't finish this yet. So I have one final question that I really love asking, and I will do it with you. So do you have any personal routines or practices or anything that help you maintain the work-life balance in your day-to-day?
I have a lot of things going on. You too, you know. And like I usually try, like I work a lot, but I have kind of a framework for decisioning. Like if I have important events or family reunions or whatever, it usually goes, or personal things, it usually goes myself first. So that's if I have something that I must do for myself, that's coming first. Then goes family and friends, and then it comes work. Sometimes I fail, of course, but that's like if I have things to decide, that's usually my framework. And then and in myself, it comes like going to the gym, working out. I have a lot of, like, I go to swim 2 times a week. I lift weights 3 times a week. I run 3 times a week now.
So is it true that you might be preparing a triathlon?
I've been thinking about preparing an Ironman, actually. That's half Ironman, which is the 70.3 version, which is pretty much like swimming 2 kilometers, biking 90 kilometers, and running 21 kilometers. Sorry for the
42, I think. It's a marathon.
Sorry for the kilometers and not miles thing, but and I've been thinking about that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it because it requires a lot of training, and I think I am capable of, but I might have to leave other things behind, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. So it's still there in my mind.
Excellent.
It's written to the file. I haven't committed.
That's a start. So
but that's my work-life balance decisioning, and that's pretty much it. And then I know when I have to work hard, I will work hard, and when I don't, I don't.
Of that I'm sure.
And that's basically it. I know sometimes you have to work more, sometimes you have to work less.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fede. And luckily that's all the time we have for today. So I hope like you found this conversation like interesting, same way I found it. And I hope also the audience out there enjoyed it. So thank you so much for your time, Fede. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing all this information with us. And yeah, I hope you can see and watch it later once we release it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's always nice to talk about these things which are kind of work related, but
Mhm.
it's good to talk without thinking about like, I mean, just talking, right? It's I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for it, and I will definitely watch it after, even though I don't like watching myself, but I will do it.
Thanks, Fede. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye bye.
Bye.